Hi everyone, and welcome to part 2 of working with a nutrition professional. Before I get started, I would like to take a moment and thank everyone for your comments, suggestions, and questions. I loved hearing and reading them all. If you haven't had a chance yet, take a moment to check out questions to ask your potential nutrition professional. It is a really quick read. Today, for part 2, I am going to focus on what creating a plan includes. Please remember, this is an outline, and if you have anything that you would like to add or feel does not apply to you, change it. This is your healing plan. Make it your own. Bringing me perfectly into the first point. You are an individual. You are unique, mind, body, and spirit. This is to be honored and celebrated every step. Your healing and nutrition plan is to reflect and be customized to your uniqueness. This is especially important for those living with a chronic illness, including fibro. You tend to be part of the minority. If it only happens to the 7%, you fall into that 7%. It is one of the amazing benefits, yes, amazing benefits that comes with living with fibro. You get customized treatment out of necessity because you are not part of the majority. But you will have to request and at times demand it. Every part of your nutrition plan is to reflect who you are and your whole self. Patience is next, a word that I used to detest and now love. I struggle with it sometimes, but I do love it. Your body in a fibroactive state and even in a dormant state is hypersensitive. In order for you to make changes safely and ensure that they're the best ones for you takes time. Many nutrition professionals are excited to help, a wonderful quality. They can see where to make changes, cut out a lot of foods cold turkey, and add the healthier foods all at once. This can and often does throw the body into shock, leading to a heightening of symptoms or a flare-up. I have had many people come to me after this has happened. Taking your time and starting with small steps. Take out 1 or 2 items and add substitution slowly. This is key to protecting yourself from putting more stress on your body and whole self. Because let's face it, the majority of you are eating takeout and prepackaged food full of sugar and preservatives that your body has gotten used to and crave. Taking the process slower limits the possibility of withdrawals. And right now, you want to stack the cards in your favor, especially when you're just starting and when you're building your foundation. Having patience also gives you the opportunity to learn about yourself. You become aware and learn to listen to your body. This is a tool that is priceless. You will know what certain foods do to your body, how they harm or help, which can and will be useful in the future. Okay, moving on to the next. Life changes versus diet and deprivation. There are countless diets out there that claim to benefit fibro. Diets are short-term and include depriving yourself of foods that you just do not want to give up, and usually lead to binge eating. Diets realistically are rarely lifelong solutions. You follow it for a month or 2 and then you realize it is not realistic for you to stick with for the long haul. You go off the diet and fall back into old unhealthy habits. Diets are made for the masses, not the individual. And remember, we want to celebrate who you are. You want long-term success. The last thing you're going to want to do is be with something for 2 months and then fall back to where you were before those 2 months started. Especially when you're living with fibro and you always feel like you're hitting a wall. To do this, to have long-term success, you have to find solutions that are realistic, simple, easy to incorporate, and can evolve as you grow. I'm going to repeat that. You want to find solutions that are realistic, simple, easy to incorporate, and can evolve as you grow. Life changes gives this to you. You find the steps and changes needed for you. Life changes also incorporate your whole self and your lifestyle into the plan, bringing us to the next point, your lifestyle and who you are. Incorporating your life is a necessity when you are creating a health plan or nutrition plan or both. If I was to hand you the outline of what I do or what I did do in the beginning or of one of my clients, you would fail for a very simple reason. You were not taken into consideration when the plan was created. What about your limitations? Active fibro comes with physical limitations. There's pain. And if you're living in pain, the last thing you want to do is any kind of prep work or standing over a stove for long periods of time. The lack of energy can make the idea of cooking seem unattainable. Then there's also a financial limitation. Many of you living with fibromyalgia or on disability are living in a single income home, and buying top of the line or incorporating certain complementary products is not feasible, possible, or even something you could consider. Then you have your lifestyle. Do you work? If you work, the last thing you want to do is come home and cook a meal. Then, many skip breakfast or find a fast solution for lunch. We need to take that into consideration. What about your family? Do you have a family? Are you cooking for yourself or for a family? If you're cooking for more than one person, you need a solution that will work for everyone, so you're not cooking 2 or 3 meals. And if you do have a family, are they able to help? These are all different things that have to be taken into consideration. Next is, do you have the joy of cooking? Do you like cooking, or is it something you do not like? Do you find it relaxing or stressful? Are you a good cook, or can you not even boil a pot of water? These are all things to be taken into consideration. I'm not going to hand someone who can't boil a pot of water an intricate meal. If you don't like cooking, I'm not going to hand you something that's complicated. I'm going to find it so that it's as easy and simple for who you are. And that is what your nutrition professional should also do. What about the foods you love? Come on. A little bit of a reality check here. Everyone has those foods that they just do not want to give up. In my experience, the most common ones are coffee, alcohol, sugar-filled foods, candy, chocolate, whatever that is, and childhood favorites. You know, homemade mac and cheese, which I still love, all those different things. If you're not going to be honest with yourself and say, hey, it's not realistic for me to give this up for the rest of my life, then it has to be incorporated into your food plan. Smartly, but it has to be incorporated so that it does not have a harmful effect on your body. So for me, I think everything on that list I refused to give up. And that was fine. I just learned how to make it work, find a nice balance, and foods that would counteract the effect that those certain things that weren't necessarily the healthiest for me were doing to my body. You find the good for the bad, and I found the good to counteract the bad. And honestly, as I started to get healthier, and I have heard this from numerous clients, things like candy or childhood favorites or deep fried foods, salty foods, as your body starts to get healthier, your body actually starts to reject these types of foods because it doesn't work anymore with it. Your body is not compatible with the unhealthy. So what I say now for me is that I make it worth my while. If I'm going to have a couple Twizzlers or the pack of Twizzlers, I'm going to make sure it's worth my while. If I'm going to go eat something if I'm going to go have a couple glasses of wine, I'm going to make sure I'm drinking water with it, drink water all through the day, and I'm going to have some foods. I'm going to include some foods while I'm drinking that will counteract the sugars and the other properties in the alcohol that could have a negative effect on my body. Doing it smartly and working with a nutrition professional can do this. It doesn't mean that you can go out and run crazy every day and eat what you want. You just can't. It's called treating yourself. Not depriving, treating. These are some of the key points you want to incorporate, just the basics that you want to incorporate into your food plan for you to have success. You want solutions that are going to help you not increase but decrease the stress to your body. Incorporating your whole life gives you the awareness and tools to allow this to happen, to decrease the stress and become healthy. Your food plan is a plan that is customized to you, your life, and your fibro. You want it to reflect what you need now and be able to grow to meet your future needs. That's it for today, but I do want you guys to check back later in the week for 2 blogs. First one's going to be Healthier versus Healthiest, which is a really interesting blog that I love talking about publicly in my speeches and workshops, and people are shocked by it. Just because there's this misconception that we always have to jump right to the healthiest option, and sometimes it's not feasible, and it's just about making more little steps in the beginning. And the second blog is the mental impact that can come into getting healthy when it comes to food. There's always a mental impact and even a roadblock that comes in when you try to get healthy, and this is especially true with food. So I do invite you guys to check back. Have a wonderful week. I'm sending you guys lots of love, laughter, and joy, gratitude, thanks, all those wonderful things. Bye guys.